Hello everyone, how do you do? I am happy to know that all of you are safe and well. So, I have a really fun activity planned for us today. We are going to watch a little story video and then answer some questions about it. So, there are different kinds of stories in the world, but today's story comes from mythology. I can already hear you saying, "What is mythology?" Well, mythology is stories that people from long ago made up about the world around them. They would tell their children these stories, and when the children grew up, they would tell their children, and so on. Many old cultures from around the world have myths. The ancient Greeks had a god called Zeus. The ancient Mayans from South America believed in this menacing looking fellow who was the god of war. And the North African people have stories about Anansi. So, what are myths about? The ancient people did not have scientific knowledge like we have today. They made up stories about the world around them, like how day turns into night or why the seasons change, for example. Each ancient society had its own story for how the world was made. The ancient Egyptians believed that their main god, called Atum, became so lonely that he vomited out the world and everything in it. The ancient Inuit or American Indians believed that a raven dreamt up the world and grew people from the trees like fruit. The ancient Polynesian people, where the story of Moana and Maui comes from, believed the world was born from a shell like a beautiful pearl. It most certainly includes powerful gods like Odin from Norse mythology, beautiful and wise goddesses like this Japanese fire goddess, as well as amazing heroes with superpowers like our friend Hercules here from Roman mythology. It also features a large variation of magical creatures like unicorns, flying snakes and dragons, or the greatly feared Kraken, a supposed massive squid-like creature that could swallow a whole ship and its crew in one gulp. So, while a myth by no means is a true story, it does communicate some form of life lesson to be considered very real. Like the curious Pandora from Greek mythology, who opened a box of plagues upon the world because she could not keep her hands off other people's belongings. These myths were so popular with their people that actors would often perform them in plays. So, what are the parts of a story that makes it a myth? Firstly, it's a story bound to a certain culture, and although it is a good story, it is not true. Secondly, it has some explanation for how we experience the world, be it how the sea got its waves, or why the wind blows, or why the sky is blue, for example. Thirdly, the main characters are generally gods or goddesses or a superhero of some kind, and how they get along with each other or with normal people. Next, there might be all kinds of magical creatures that play a role in the story, from beautiful and kind unicorns to nasty dogs with three heads. And lastly, a myth usually has some kind of moral to the story, a lesson for your own life that you can apply today. Not all myths will have all of these elements. Some will only be about the gods and goddesses and a moral, Or some will be about the made-up adventures of a hero encountering different magical creatures and battling the gods. It doesn't matter. As long as we enjoy the stories, they will be around. So here comes the cool part. You are going to watch the video of an African myth about how death came into the world. So this would be the story people would tell to explain why people die and why we don't just live forever. Once you have watched the YouTube video, answer the questions on your question paper. I have included a memo so that you can grade your work. In the meantime, keep safe and stay healthy. Goodbye.